seeing that, I guess, what's happening in the division that you fought in? You fought Martinez fought. There's been like a line, you know, it's led to Golovkin and his fight. I guess, how do you see this crop of middleweights compared to when you were competing?
I think you had Kelly Pavlik was very dominant for a while. Then there was some good middleweights behind him, predominantly European-based guys that weren't big names here, so it didn't really mean anything to fight the likes of Kelly Pavlik. Then, you know, Sergio Martinez stepped up in weight, had those few good fights with Paul Williams, and obviously then he beat Kelly Pavlik. Then again, he was looking for kind of, again, you had Felix Stern, would have been considered the second big name in the division outside of him. He was a huge draw in Germany, so was never going to leave there. Martinez didn't want to go to Germany. Then my fight with Stern, being in Germany but televised here in the States, obviously everyone thought I won the fight. It was a very bad decision. You know, and then it opened things up a little because I fought Martinez. Good fight, didn't win it. But, you know, Golovkin was kind of coming through at that time, but no one really wanted to fight him. You know, he fought Rosado and he fought Gregor Praxa, but no big names were willing to fight him, and he was kind of frozen out a little bit because he needed the right dance partner to kind of crash the rankings a little bit. And after the fight with Martinez, I fought Alcide, knocked him out in a round, and I was probably I wasn't as avoided as Golovkin, but I was probably in a situation where, you know, I'd already fought Serb, didn't get the decision. Then Martinez, I pushed him close. Who was I really going to get? Kid Chocolate was over on Showtime at the time, so I was struggling really to land a big fight, you know. And then obviously the you know, Golovkin was avoided, and then, you know, HBO kind of put us together, and that then I think when he beat me the way he did, that kind of elevated him. It was a statement, you know, for me to get robbed by Sturm and to be nip and tuck with Martinez, you know, right up to the end. For Golovkin then to go and beat me the way he did, I think it kind of elevated him onto that level. And then since then he's stayed busy and he's beat opponent after opponent. I think right now, you know, Sergio retired, I've retired, Stern moved up, retired or failed drug test, whatever. And then it's opened up a little bit. But you know, a lot of guys that Golovkin has beaten in style, but he probably hasn't beaten a big name now. I think there's been talk of him moving up to fight Andre Ward, etc. But, you know, he's not a big middleweight, and why should he be forced to move up and give away weight when, you know,
people give him crap about that.
Yeah, but why should he? You know, he's not a huge middleweight. So, I mean, what happened to the days of Marvin Hagler just dominating your division? Costa Tszyu never moved up, he just dominated his division, possibly one of the best 140 pounders of all time. I don't think you always have to go up in weight to be great, and I think Golovkin, in my opinion, is doing the right thing. He's not a huge middleweight, he's dominating his division, and right now he's got two guys that lay claim to be a middleweight champion, and that's Danny Jacobs and Billy Joe Saunders. You know, I think he's fighting Danny Jacobs on Saturday. I think most people would predict that he comes through that.
Are you predicting that?
Yeah, I am. I think Jacobs is a really good fighter. I do think he's a really good fighter. I think he'd be dangerous early because he's got good hand speed. He definitely hits quite hard, you know, as he showed against Kid Chocolate. But I do think Golovkin wins it. You know, and then there's, you know, possibly he fights Billy Joe Saunders after that, and I think Billy Joe gives him different problems. He's a tricky southpaw, very clever, decent speed, not a huge puncher but respectable. You know, so that's a good fight. You know, if he comes through that Golovkin, then he's undisputed middleweight champion. Then, you know, who knows what the Canelo situation.
Canelo is still considered universal middleweight champion.
No,
by technicality, because of the guy who had the belt,
He has, but does he really? I mean, once Golovkin, if Golovkin beats Jacobs and was then,
everybody recognizes Golovkin. Yeah.
I think, you know, if he beats Jacobs, and then if he fights Billy Joe Saunders, if he comes through that, and he's undisputed middleweight champion, you know, he has all the belts then. Then really, you know, and Canelo goes up, let's say, beats Chavez at 164.5 pounds. Like, really, surely that fight happens then, you know. And I think that's one of the best fights in boxing.
Which one?
Canelo and Golovkin.
Okay, I thought you said Canelo and Chavez.
No, Canelo and Golovkin. I think Canelo and Chavez could be a good fight.
Yeah.
But, you know, it doesn't really carry the same significance, does it?
Like, for me, like, when I heard it, I was like, nah, because of that, because it, like, doesn't mean anything. For the weight that he wants to be in and for the weight in Chavez. Like,
I mean, for the boxing purists, it means relatively nothing. But having said that, you know, we are professional boxers. Professional meaning we want to get paid, and that fight generates a lot of money. So you know, we can all give Canelo stick and flack, but the reality is we'd all do the same. So you know, at the end of the day, Canelo's fought everyone as well. You know, but I think once he fights Chavez and he moves up into that weight division, assuming he comes through Chavez, he should really fight Golovkin then, I think.